France's higher education sector is expanding. More than 2.9 million students enrolled in the year of 2023 and 2024. The number of students has doubled since 1980. With 72 universities, 227 engineering schools, 220 business and management schools, and dozens of specialist art and architecture schools. France has a lot to offer when it comes to academic institutions. And today we're very lucky to be speaking with someone who manages one of the top research centers in social sciences and humanities in the world, not just in France.
My name is Pierre-Paul Zalio and I'm university professor, and now I'm chairing a campus in Paris, in the north of Paris, Campus Condorcet.
You're listening to The Divide. My name is Iris Xu. Campus Condorcet is not a university, it's not a school. It is designed as an open space, a place where knowledge is shared between the world of research and society.
Well, it comes from the idea of increasing the visibility and also increasing the equipment for the institutions by building a new campus. So it was a project decided 8 years ago to develop a new campus that will be shared by founding members institutions, 11 institutions, 2 national research organizations, 5 universities, and 3 what we call in France grandes écoles, which are selective graduate school. And these 11 institutions asked the government to invest and to develop a new campus they would share. And the government has set up a specific institution to manage it. So I'm in charge of this institution. So part of my job consists in developing the campus, making it functioning, all the functioning, the procurement, everything. Another part of my job consists in facilitating the cooperation between the members, these different universities with different histories. We have a common point because we are all dealing with social sciences and humanities. And also to develop some specific infrastructure for research about digital humanities and also a library, a research library and a center of archives, which is a unique shared institutions in the middle of the campus.
For someone who studied in Taiwan and in the United States, universities pride themselves on their independence. They see each other as competitors in students' enrollment, academic performance, and research breakthroughs. So how does the French concept of Campus Condorcet come about?
When you want to train advanced students, and especially if you want to train master students on PhD program, you have to link strongly research and education. And the reputation of a training program is generally grounded on the reputation in research of the teachers. So one of the main idea was to have in the same place the research unit, the seminar room, the library, the archives, the restaurant, eventually the visiting professor hotel, the dormitories, everything you need to live in a campus. The notion of campus is well known in Taiwan because in Taiwan you have wonderful campuses. I had the opportunity to see them. And the first one, probably the campus of Taida, which is a very ancient campus, but also Academia Sinica campus. They are what is called worldwide a campus. But in Paris, the university is very old in its history, but it's disseminated into the city and there was no real campus. So this was also an opportunity to manage to develop a real campus with all is needed. And of course it was also the opportunity to mix research and training, mostly for master and PhD students, but to combine it.
I see. And may I ask, you mentioned something that I thought it was private school, which is Grande École.
Mm-hmm. Grandes écoles, the notion of grandes écoles, the funny thing is that the French have always invented things that are grand, something mean big, mean important. Just to be brief, the university in France are very, very old. The Sorbonne is a very old institutions. And during the French Revolution, the universities were considered as related to traditions because they were old. And so the revolutionary were thinking that they need new institutions. And they think that they need some institution of education, some training program to serve the new republic. And to serve the new republic, to produce the people they need. And what do they need? Officers for the army, engineers to build the country, and professors for the schools. And this is the origin of public institutions that are very specific, in which the students are selected after a period of generally 2 years after the baccalaureate, so after the senior high school, and in which they are trained for generally 3 to 4 years, and they get the grade of ingénieur, or they get the grade of agrégé normalien, or they get the grade of officer in army. And École Polytechnique for the École Centrale, École Normale Supérieure, all these kind of grandes écoles that are well known by some of your audience who could be interested into the French system, they would discover that they are public. But of course there is also some private grandes écoles, especially in the domain of management, because France is well known for its school of management. HEC, for instance, is known worldwide, and these are private institutions or public-private institutions. So they are also a part of the grandes écoles system. So you see, the French system is a bit divided into universities, grandes écoles, and research organizations. So what we try to do on Campus Condorcet is precisely to combine them on one unique campus, and to give the opportunity to have the best of each system, to combine the best of each system on a campus, and offering also all the services that are expected by students or young researchers or researchers that want to be at the international standard.
In my mind, the French educations, or these different schools, specifically the Grande École as well as the university, they sort of have boundaries and barriers.
That's
and
true.
What you are doing is breaking these barriers.
Exactly. This is exactly what I'm doing, and this is what I did previously, because during my career I was also strongly involved into the consolidation of a new university, which is now an integrated new university, Université Paris-Saclay, in the south of Paris, which is now well known because its international ranking is very high, at 13th level at the, for instance, Shanghai Jiaotong ranking, and precisely the making of this new university consists in broken the walls in between, all the boundaries in between Grandes Écoles and university. So this is exactly what I'm doing, what I'm in charge of doing, and the French government is willing to increase the efficiency, the visibility of the system. So try to reorganize the French system by promoting new consolidated institutions. So you have, if you look at the university map now in France, and if you were looking at the same map 10 years ago, you would see that the name changes, the name have changed, the size have changed, and the organization have changed. So it's a bit puzzling because this is a new name sometimes and so on. But it's also a way to offer more convenient, more coherent, more visible context for training and for research.
I assume that in the process of building this campus, you probably face certain degree of pushbacks from traditionalists.
Yes, because and this is why, for instance, Campus Condorcet has decided to respect the autonomy of each members, for instance, because there was the members refused to merge into one institution or to consolidate themselves into one institution that would, for instance, giving the grade or organizing the program or giving the PhD and so on. So they decided that they want to have a place to work together. They want to have a place to be together, but they want to have the time and the freedom to choose if they want to go further or not. In other part of the French system, it has gone further. For instance, in major cities in France, there was formerly, for instance, there were 3 universities in Strasbourg, there was 3 university in Lille, 3 university in 3, I mean the number 3, in Marseille and Aix-Marseille, and now this is 1 Aix-Marseille Université, 1 Strasbourg Université, 1 Lille Université, 1 Bordeaux Université, and even in Paris, the number of brand has decreased because of this consolidation process. But in the Paris-Saclay case, and probably also because it is social sciences and humanities, the institutions were reluctant to go further into a unique institution. And we are organizing a sort of cooperative system on campus. And at the same time, as a street level of student, I give this example very often. You know that in France there is a lot of strikes.
Mm-hmm.
So people are very often striking, and in the street there is massive demonstration to protest against a reform or against something. So, and the students are very often involved in that kind of demonstrations. And I noticed, and my colleagues noticed, that the students of Campus Condorcet, they are walking in the street with a banner which is Campus Condorcet en lutte. That means in French, Campus Condorcet fighting. So that's for the social movement. So that means that for them, and these students are students of Paris 1 or students of EHESS or students of Paris 3 or student one of the 11 institutions, when they are in the street to demonstrate, to say Campus Condorcet. So this is an example of bottom-up integration. And in the everyday life, the researchers are in mixed units. They are sharing the same place to do their research. They are sharing the restaurant to have the lunch. They are making a common place, sort of village where they are living together, and they have common research projects sometimes, and this is a way to build the community of Campus Condorcet, instead of saying you're going to do that, and that, which is not necessarily the good way of doing things.
Now, is France's higher education system accessible to its people and outsiders?
We have here probably the best institutions in the domain of humanity and social sciences, and most of them are master students and PhD students. And even if the system is not necessarily selective, I mean, it's not a competition like you have in some countries where it is really selective. In fact, it is, because when you want to apply to a master, let's say a master of Paris 1 Panthéon-Sorbonne or a master of political sciences in Nanterre, you will have to apply, and it's very competitive. The number of applicants is larger than the number of places offered. So from that point of view, you'd better be a very good student. In terms of hosting students from abroad, I would give you some figures. There is approximately in between 30% of the students in master program are from abroad, I would say 1/3. And in PhD, it's half of the students are from abroad. So we have an open system. Of course, we cannot host all the students applying from abroad, but we are applying students from a lot of different nationalities on campus. And the third aspect is the price. The French system is a public system, and the decision was made to finance the system through the income taxes and the taxes, so through the government action, and not through fees that would be important, and that would exclude people from university. So the French system is a system very open and accessible, even for foreign students. Now the fees for foreign students are higher than for the nationals, but their price is really low if you compare it to universities elsewhere in the UK or in the US or even in other countries.
Universities are publicly funded, but a lot of grandes écoles, as I know it, are expensive, no?
If you are applying to management school,
Mm-hmm.
so the private part, it's expensive
Mm-hmm.
because this is a private system. And for example, the MBA in this kind of institution are very expensive, and this is the price of international MBA. Maybe it's maybe a bit cheaper to have a grade in Paris than in London School of Economics, but I'm not sure. So I think it's the same price. But if you take the example of the Grandes Écoles and Campus Condorcet, École Nationale des Chartes for archives and paleography and philology and ancient documents, École Pratique des Hautes Études for history, religious studies and ancient history, École des Hautes Études en Sciences Sociales for sociology, history, geography and so on. These three Grandes Écoles, you can enter for free. So there is no fees. So
I see.
From an economic point of view, it's really accessible. But, well, the living in Paris is expensive. So if you are to come from a country like Taiwan or elsewhere in Paris, of course, you get to get a place where to live. You have the cost of your living. So, and I'm not saying that it's absolutely easy, but the French system is very open to foreign students.
I see. All right. And in 2023, French President Emmanuel Macron established a new Presidential Council for Science to keep him informed on emerging issues that he needs to be aware of, or to alert his government to dysfunctional issues. You are part of the President's Council. Do you think President Macron has been making his policies based on the Council's suggestions or warnings?
No, I would not say yes, but I would not say yes because this is not the role of the scientific, the Conseil présidentiel de la science. We are not dealing with precise policies. We are alerting the president when something must be said. And we are a group of 12 people from all disciplines. And we are proposing the president to discuss with him some topics that appear to us important to talk. Let me give you an example. There was recently the President Macron has chaired the Ocean Summit, a subject that is concerning Taiwan a lot because Taiwan is concerned by the ocean problem and the ocean biodiversity. And we have cooperation in between France and Taiwan on ocean. And the question of what is a zone, a preserved zone in the ocean. So we had a presentation of one of our members in oceanography. We had telling on the basis of scientific evidences how to understand the problem. The most important aspect, in my view, of this Conseil présidentiel de la science is to have a discussion with the president from our point of view of scientists. I mean, a scientist is someone who is working with data, element of experiment, reasonings, proof, evidence-based decision and result. And this is very different from making politics. And in France, the politicians, and this is the case of Macron, and this is the case of Ministry, have very rarely been to university and very rarely been confronted to research itself. They have done more study in administrative and public affairs training programs, such as in Sciences Po, for instance, which is a place where we are trained a majority of politicians in France. So one of the issues is to confront the president to what is the reasoning with a scientific background.
And thank you for listening to this week's episode of The Divide. My name is Iris Xu. This episode is produced by Radio Taiwan International.